The words left her mouth casually, almost bored, like she was commenting on the weather or ordering a latte. My mom can buy you. Sophia Grace Huntington, 19 years old, said it directly to Judge Frank Caprio's face, with the same tone someone might use to say, "I'll have fries with that." She stood at the defendant's podium wearing a Balenciaga hoodie that cost $1,200, holding a phone in a case that cost more than the bailiff's weekly salary, looking at the judge like he was staff at a store she frequented. She genuinely believed her family's wealth. Her mother was CEO of Huntington Pharmaceuticals with a net worth exceeding $800 million, could bend justice, buy outcomes, make consequences disappear. She'd lived 19 years where money solved everything, and she saw no reason why a courtroom would be any different. But she was about to learn, in exactly 31 minutes, that in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, arrogance doesn't just have consequences. It has immediate, unavoidable, life-changing consequences. And those consequences don't accept credit cards. Before we show you what happened when entitled disrespect met absolute judicial authority, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. If you love Judge Caprio's unwavering commitment to teaching powerful lessons about respect and accountability, please support our new channel, Judge Caprio Speaks, by hitting that subscribe button and giving us a like. We're building a community that believes respect isn't negotiable and justice doesn't have a price tag. Every subscription helps us share more powerful moments where character matters more than credit limits. Your support means everything. Providence Municipal Court. Friday morning, June 6th, 10:01 a.m. Summer heat was building outside, but inside the courthouse, air conditioning kept everything cool and professional. Judge Frank Caprio was working through his morning docket when the bailiff called a case that would become one of the most shocking moments in his courtroom's history. Huntington, Sophia Grace. Citation number 2025-26543. Reckless driving, failure to appear, contempt of court. The doors opened and Sophia entered like she was walking into a boutique, not a courtroom. Balenciaga hoodie in black with oversized logo, 1,200. Golden Goose sneakers, 600, intentionally distressed to look casually expensive. Gucci belt, 450. Her phone was the latest iPhone Pro Max in her hand, case embedded with actual Swarovski crystals. Designer sunglasses pushed up on her head, probably Celine, another 500. Her blonde hair was professionally highlighted, probably 400 every 6 weeks. Everything about her screamed money, privilege, and complete disconnect from reality. She wasn't alone. Behind her walked her mother's attorney, Gerald Stevenson, 60s, from Huntington and Associates. Yes, her family's firm. He carried himself with the weary confidence of someone who'd gotten this particular client out of trouble many times before, and expected to do so again. Sophia approached the podium while texting, not putting her phone away and then walking up. Actually texting while walking to face a judge. The bailiff cleared his throat. She ignored him. She reached the podium, set down a Prada bag, and continued texting. Judge Caprio looked up from his paperwork. His expression was patient, but his eyes had that particular quality that court regulars recognized. He was already assessing, already forming opinions. Ms. Huntington, please put away your phone and give the court your attention. Sophia glanced up, annoyed by the interruption. She didn't put the phone away. She just held it at her side, screen still glowing. Yeah, sorry. Just had to send something important. Ms. Huntington, I asked you to put the phone away. It's away, see? She held it up, showing him, like demonstrating to a confused adult. Several people in the gallery gasped quietly at the disrespect. Gerald stepped forward quickly. Your Honor, my client is young and perhaps doesn't fully understand courtroom. I understand fine, Sophia interrupted her own attorney. Can we just do this? I have lunch at noon. The gallery erupted in whispers. Judge Caprio raised his hand for silence. Ms. Huntington, please state your full name and age for the record. Sophia Grace Huntington, 19. No, Your Honor. No respect. Just facts delivered like she was checking in at a doctor's office. Ms. Huntington, you're here on several serious charges. First, reckless driving on May 12th. Second, failure to appear at your scheduled court date 2 weeks ago. Third, contempt of court for that failure to appear. Do you understand these charges? Sophia shrugged. I guess. The driving thing was nothing. I wasn't even going that fast. And I forgot about the court date. I was in Paris that week. My mom took me shopping for my birthday. Judge Caprio consulted his notes. You were cited for driving 87 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour residential zone. At 2:30 in the afternoon, in a neighborhood with 3 schools. That's not nothing, Ms. Huntington. The speed limit there is ridiculous. Everyone drives faster than 35. It's like they want you to get tickets. The speed limit is 35 to protect children who live in that neighborhood. You were traveling 2.5 times the safe speed. You could have killed someone. But I didn't. So what's the problem? The courtroom went absolutely silent. Judge Caprio set down his pen and looked at Sophia directly. The problem, Ms. Huntington, is that you endangered lives and show zero remorse. And then you failed to appear at your court date, which is a separate crime. I told you I was in Paris. It was my birthday trip. My mom surprised me with it. We were gone for 10 days. I couldn't just skip that for a traffic ticket. You could have contacted the court, requested a continuance. Your attorney could have appeared on your behalf. Instead, you simply didn't show up and didn't inform anyone. I didn't think it was a big deal. Judge Caprio leaned forward slightly. Ms. Huntington, when a judge orders you to appear in court, it's a legal obligation. It's not optional. It's not something you skip because you have other plans. Sophia rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes at a judge. Okay, but it's just traffic court. It's not like I robbed a bank or something. Can we just pay the fine and leave? What's it gonna be, like 300? I have cash. She actually reached for her Prada bag like she was about to pull out money. Ms. Huntington, put that away. This isn't about payment. This is about your complete disregard for the law, for this court, and for the safety of others. Look, Your Honor, she said his title with air quotes, actually made the gesture with her fingers. I get that you have to do your job or whatever. But my mom is Veronica Huntington, CEO of Huntington Pharmaceuticals. We literally donate millions to this city. The mayor came to my graduation party, so maybe we can just resolve this quickly? I really do have plans. The gallery was in shock. People were standing up to see better. Someone whispered loudly, "Is she seriously trying to bribe a judge?" Judge Caprio's voice remained calm. Ms. Huntington, are you suggesting that your mother's position and donations should affect how I rule on your case? I'm just saying, people help each other out. My mom could make a really generous donation to whatever charity you want. Consider it goodwill. Gerald looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Your Honor, my client doesn't mean... Let me talk, Sophia snapped at her own attorney. She turned back to Judge Caprio. I'm 19. I'm in college. I made a mistake. But it's not like I'm a bad person. My family is important. We matter. And honestly, I don't think you want to make this a big thing because my mom has a lot of powerful friends. She could make your life difficult if she wanted to. The courtroom exploded. The bailiff had to stand and call for order multiple times. Judge Caprio's voice cut through the noise. Quiet, controlled, absolutely authoritative. Miss Huntington, did you just threaten me? Sophia looked confused by the reaction. What? No, I'm just being honest. My mom is really powerful. She knows governors. She's friends with senators. If she wanted to, she could probably get you removed from this bench. I'm not threatening you. I'm just explaining reality. And what reality is that, Ms. Huntington? That my family has money. Serious money. And people with money don't get treated like regular people. That's just how the world works. My mom could literally buy you. Like buy this whole courthouse if she wanted to. So maybe we should just be practical about this? The courtroom went from chaos to dead silence. Judge Caprio stood up slowly from behind his bench. Judges don't stand during proceedings. But he stood. And when he spoke, his voice carried a weight that made everyone in the room feel it. Ms. Huntington, I want to make sure I understand you correctly. You just told me that your mother could buy me. That your family's wealth means you don't get treated like regular people. That I should be practical and consider your mother's power. Is that accurate? Sophia, oblivious to the catastrophic mistake she'd just made, actually smiled. Yeah, exactly. See? You get it. Ms. Huntington, you're wrong about several things. First, your mother cannot buy me. Justice is not for sale in this courtroom. Second, your family's wealth doesn't mean you're above the law. It means you have resources that bring responsibility. Third, threatening a judge is not being honest. It's contempt of court. And fourth, you're about to learn that in America, we don't have royalty. We have citizens, all equal under the law. Sophia's smile faded. Wait, what? Judge Caprio picked up his phone. Bailiff Rodriguez, please pull Ms. Huntington's complete driving record and any previous court appearances. Your Honor, that's not necessary, Gerald interjected desperately. I'll determine what's necessary. Ms. Huntington, while we wait, let me ask you something. This isn't your first traffic citation, is it? I've gotten a few tickets. Everyone does. How many is a few? Sophia shrugged. I don't know. Like 5, maybe 6? 20 minutes passed. Sophia checked her phone constantly, sighed dramatically, shifted her weight from foot to foot. Gerald whispered urgently multiple times, but she ignored him. The gallery watched in rapt attention. Bailiff Rodriguez returned with a thick file. Judge Caprio read through it, his expression growing progressively darker. Ms. Huntington, according to these records, in the past 2 years, you've received 8 traffic citations. 8. 3 for speeding, 2 for running red lights, 1 for illegal lane changes, 1 for texting while driving, and now this one for reckless driving. Is that accurate? If that's what it says. 7 of those 8 citations were dismissed. Your family's attorney negotiated settlements, paid fines quickly, and made them disappear. The only one that wasn't dismissed was because you were supposed to appear in court to explain circumstances, which is today's date. Except you didn't appear. You went to Paris. My birthday was more important than traffic court. Judge Caprio continued reading. There's something else here. Ms. Huntington, in March of this year, you were involved in an accident. You rear-ended another vehicle in a parking lot and left the scene without providing information. The other driver reported you, and police traced your license plate. Is this accurate? Sophia looked uncomfortable for the first time. That was a misunderstanding. I didn't realize I'd hit her. I thought I'd just bumped the curb. You caused $4,000 in damage to her vehicle. She was a college student who needed that car to get to work. She couldn't afford repairs, but your mother's attorney settled quickly and quietly to avoid charges. The student signed an NDA. You never faced any consequences. My mom handled it. She didn't want it to become a thing. Your mom protected you from consequences. There's a difference. Judge Caprio set down the file. Ms. Huntington, I'm going to ask you a direct question, and I want an honest answer. Do you believe you're above the law? Sophia hesitated, sensing this was dangerous ground. I don't think I'm above the law exactly. I just think people with money get treated differently. That's not my fault. That's just how society works. Do you think that's right? I think it's reality. Rich people can afford better lawyers. We can pay fines that would bankrupt other people. We know people in positions of power. That's not wrong. That's just smart use of resources. And do you think that's fair to the people who don't have those resources? Sophia shrugged. Life isn't fair. Some people are born rich. Some aren't. I didn't choose my family any more than someone else chose theirs. Why should I feel bad about my advantages? Judge Caprio sat back down. Ms. Huntington, let me tell you what I see. I see a young woman who's been insulated from consequences her entire life, who's learned that money solves all problems, who's never had to face the real impact of her actions because someone always cleaned up the mess, and who's become so disconnected from reality that she thinks it's appropriate to tell a judge that her mother could buy him. I was just being honest. You were being disrespectful, arrogant, and foolish. And Ms. Huntington, there are consequences for that. Here's my ruling. Sophia actually smirked, like she knew this would end with a fine she'd never feel. For your reckless driving violation, the fine is $1,000. For your failure to appear, the fine is an additional $12,500. For your contemptuous behavior in this courtroom, including attempting to bribe or influence me, threatening me with your mother's power, and showing zero remorse for endangering lives, I'm fining you an additional $5,000. Total fines, $8,500. Sophia's eyes widened. $8,000? Additionally, your license is suspended for 1 year. You will not drive during that time. Period. A year? How am I supposed to get anywhere? That's your problem to solve. Uber, buses, friends, you'll figure it out. But I'm not finished. You're also sentenced to 300 hours of community service. You will work at Providence Emergency Medical Services, helping dispatch coordinate ambulance responses. You will see firsthand what happens when people drive recklessly, when speeders cause accidents, when people don't take traffic laws seriously. Your Honor, please. And Ms. Huntington, here's the most important part. Your contempt of court. Specifically, your attempt to influence me through threats and bribery. That's a criminal offense. I'm holding you in direct contempt. The penalty is 30 days in county jail. The courtroom gasped. Sophia went white. Jail? You can't send me to jail. I can, and I am. Bailiff Rodriguez, please take Ms. Huntington into custody. What? No, you can't do this. Sophia's voice cracked with real fear for the first time. My mom will sue you. She'll have your job. You can't put me in jail. Judge Caprio stood again. Ms. Huntington, watch me. 2 bailiffs approached. Sophia backed away from the podium. No, get away from me. Do you know who I am? We know exactly who you are, Bailiff Rodriguez said calmly. Ma'am, Please put your hands behind your back. Don't touch me. I'm calling my mom. She grabbed for her phone. The bailiff gently took the phone from her hand. You'll get one phone call from the jail, ma'am. Please don't make this harder. I want my lawyer. Gerald, do something. Gerald looked devastated. Sophia, you need to comply. Please, don't make this worse. Worse? How could it be worse? He's putting me in jail. The bailiffs cuffed her hands behind her back. Sophia was crying now, real tears, her entitled facade completely shattered. Please, please don't do this. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. My mom really can help. She can donate money. Please. Judge Caprio's voice was firm, but not cruel. Ms. Huntington, your mother's money is exactly the problem. You've spent 19 years believing it made you special, made you immune. It doesn't. In this courtroom, you're just another citizen who broke the law, and citizens face consequences. They led her toward the door. She was sobbing now, mascara running. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please. The courtroom doors closed behind her. The gallery sat in stunned silence. Then, slowly, someone started clapping. Then another. Then everyone. The entire courtroom erupted in sustained applause. Judge Caprio raised his hand. Order, please. The applause died down. Let me be clear about something. I take no pleasure in sending a 19-year-old to jail, but Ms. Huntington needed to learn a lesson that no one has ever taught her. Actions have consequences. Wealth doesn't protect you from that. It shouldn't. And in my courtroom, it never will. 31 minutes. That's how long it took from Sophia saying, "My mom can buy you," to being led out of the courtroom in handcuffs. Sophia spent 30 days in county jail. No special treatment. No private cell. She shared a cell with 3 other women. She ate cafeteria food. She wore prison-issue clothes. She learned what it was like when your family name meant absolutely nothing. Her mother, Veronica Huntington, tried everything. Called the mayor, called lawyers, threatened lawsuits. Nothing worked. Judge Caprio's ruling stood. Contempt of court is contempt of court, regardless of who your mother is. 6 months after her release, Sophia completed her 300 hours with emergency medical services. She answered calls from accident scenes. She heard panicked voices reporting crashes. She coordinated ambulances for people injured by reckless drivers. One call was from a mother whose 7-year-old daughter had been hit by a speeding car. The driver was going 85 in a 35 zone. The little girl died. Sophia went home that night and couldn't stop crying. 1 year after her sentencing, Sophia returned to Judge Caprio's courtroom. She'd requested the meeting. She wore simple clothes. No designer anything. Her hair was natural. No excessive makeup. She looked like a completely different person. Your Honor, I wanted to thank you. Judge Caprio looked surprised. Thank me? You did something no one else ever did. You held me accountable. You showed me that my mom's money doesn't make me special, that I'm not above consequences, that the law applies to everyone. She paused, fighting tears. I spent 30 days in jail next to women who were there for stealing food to feed their kids, for driving with suspended licenses because they couldn't afford insurance, for things they did because they were desperate, not because they were spoiled. And I was there because I thought I could buy a judge. What did you learn? That I was a horrible person, that I'd spent 19 years being cruel and entitled and blind, that my privilege was poisonous, that I needed to change everything about who I was. And did you? I'm trying. I finished my community service, but I didn't stop. I still volunteer with EMS 2 shifts a month. I heard a little girl die because someone drove like I used to drive. I can't unhear that. So I work to prevent it. I talk to high school kids about reckless driving. I show them my mugshot. I tell them about jail. I'm not proud of who I was, but I'm trying to become someone better. Judge Caprio smiled slightly. That's good, Ms. Huntington. That's very good. My mom and I aren't speaking much. She's angry you sent me to jail. She thinks it was excessive. But, Your Honor, it wasn't excessive. It was exactly what I needed. So thank you for seeing past my mom's money, for treating me like everyone else, for teaching me that justice means something. Judge Frank Caprio kept Sophia's mug shot on his desk, not to shame her, to remember that sometimes the kindest thing a judge can do is refuse to bend, that wealth can insulate people from consequences until someone forces them to face reality, that 30 days in jail can teach what 19 years of privilege obscured, and that when someone tells you they can buy you, the only appropriate response is, "Watch me prove you can't." If you love Judge Caprio's powerful commitment to equal justice and his refusal to let wealth buy immunity from consequences, please support Judge Caprio Speaks by hitting that subscribe button and giving us a like. Your support helps us share these crucial moments where justice proves it truly is blind to bank accounts. What do you think? Should judges have the power to jail for contempt immediately? Should wealthy teens face harsher penalties to break cycles of entitlement? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this reminded you that no one is above the law, share it with someone who needs that message. Dramatization for storytelling and education, not legal advice or reporting.